Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. This is the second video on multiplying mixed numbers. On this one, we're going to focus strictly on the estimating and calculating of these products using mixed numbers. So this is the last question where we discovered we would have to change the mixed numbers to improper fractions to multiply them correctly. Let's do some more questions like that. And we're going to estimate and calculate each. So the first question we'll do will be 4½ times 2 1/3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide my page up. And I'm going to say estimate and calculate. And when we're estimating, we want to round our numbers off to get easy numbers to work with. So 4½ halfway between 4 and 5, typically we round up. So I'm going to round that to 5. And 2 1/3, closer to 2. So I'm going to round that down to 2. So a good estimate here is 5 times 2 is 10. To calculate, we have to change both mixed numbers to improper fractions. So I do denominator times whole number. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 1 is 9. And keep the same denominator 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So times 7, keep the denominator 3. At this point, you can use your golden factor sheet and simplify any common factors in the diagonal numbers. I can do 3 divided by 3 gives 1, and 9 divided by 3 gives 3. The 7 and the 2 won't simplify. So I'm going to do 3 times 7, 2 times 1. 3 times 7 is 21. 2 times 1 is 2. The great thing about the estimating here is it's going to help me divide this. I have to do 21 divided by 2. And I know my answer has to be somewhere close to 10. So 2 will go into 21 10 times. Remainder 1 out of 2. And that's how I estimate and calculate when I'm multiplying with mixed numbers. Let's do another one. Number 2. We have the mixed number 6 3/4. And this one is already written as an improper fraction, 16/9. And we're going to estimate and calculate. So to estimate, I'll take 6 3/4. That's closer to 7. Now to estimate 16/9, I might make it into a mixed number. 9 goes into 16 one time. Remainder 7 out of 9. 1 7/9 is close to 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. To calculate, both have to be improper fractions. So 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27, over 4, times 16/9. Now this is still a non-calculator unit, so I want to simplify my diagonals. I'm allowed to use my golden factor sheet if I want. So 27 and 9 will simplify. I can divide them both by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 27 divided by 9 is 3. And 16 and 4 will simplify. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Multiply the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 1. That's 12/1. And 12 divided by 1 is 12. And that matches up nicely to our estimate. Let's try one that has 3 numbers in it. So this is going to be 2 3/4 times 1 1/3 times 3 1/2. And I'm going to estimate and calculate. Okay, well, 2 3/4 is closer to 3. 1 1/3 is closer to 1. 3 1/2. Okay, I've rounded 2 3/4 up. I've rounded 1 1/3 down, so those have balanced out nicely. I could go either way here, but typically we round up. I'm going to round that up to 4. And 3 times 1 times 4 is 12. Okay, the calculating part. All my mixed numbers have to become improper fractions. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11 over 4. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4 over 3. And 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 2. Okay, let's focus in on this now. We want to focus in on our numerators and our denominators and see if we have numbers that share common factors and simplify them. Well, I automatically see 4 and 4. I can divide those both by 4 and I get 1 and 1. And I think that's the only common factors in the top and the bottom of those fractions. So 11 times 1 times 7 is 77. 1 times 3 times 2 is 6. So we get 77 over 6. Now here's where the estimate of 12 will help us. I know my answer has to be 12, so I could do 6 into 77. I know it goes 10 times. I know 6 times 11 is 66. 6 times 12 is 72. 72 is 5 away from 77, so there's 5 left over out of 6. And doesn't that match up nicely with my estimate? So the estimate can help us divide those pesky improper fractions. Let's do another one. Okay, this one has a whole number in it. So number 4. 4 times 1 1/2 times 2 1/2. We will estimate. And calculate. So 4 wholes, we don't need to round that off. We just keep it as 4. Now we want to look at both of these ones together. 1 1/2 and 2 1/2, they're both right in the middle, right? So if we round them both up, we'll have an overestimate. If we round them down, we'll have an underestimate. So why don't we round 1 up and 1 down? 1 1/2 I'll round up to 2, and 2 1/2 I'll round down to 2, and hopefully they'll balance each other off. So 4 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So a good estimate here is going to be 16. Now, write all of our numbers as improper fractions. So 4 over 1 times 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3 over 2 times 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 2. Now study the top and the bottom and find common factors that we can simplify. I see 4, I see 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now look at this. I see another pair. This is a 2, and this is a 2. 2 divided by 2, 1. 2 divided by 2, 1. So on top I have 1 times 3 times 5. On the bottom I have 1 times 1 times 1. So that's going to be 15 over 1, which simplifies to 15. And that definitely matches my estimate. Last question. 3 over 4 times 3 1/3 times 4 1/2. And we will estimate and calculate. Okay, 3 over 4. Probably round that up to 1. 1's nice to work with. 3 1/3. Probably round down to 3. So 1 and 3. 4 1/2. I could go up or I could go down. Okay. I went quite a bit up for 3/4 and quite a bit down for 1/3. So I think I could go either way here. I'll maybe go down for this one and say times 4. And my estimate's going to be about 12. Now, all of these need to be written as improper fractions except for the first one, because it's just a proper fraction, so I just leave it. For the second one, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10 over 3. And the last fraction is 9 over 2. And now I need to simplify. And there's a bunch of ways I can go. I immediately notice 3 and 3. 3 divided by 3, 1. 3 divided by 3, 1. I could do 10 and 4. Divide them both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. That's as far as I can take it. 1 times 5 times 9 is 45. 2 times 1 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to get 45 over 4. Got a pretty big improper fraction there, but my estimate will help us. My answer has to be somewhere around 12. Hey, I know 4 will go into 45 11 times. 11 times 4 is 44, so there's 1 left over out of 4. So that's how you estimate and calculate using multiplying mixed numbers. You have an assignment you're going to work on. You're doing ML 220, 221, numbers 8 to 12, and 20 letter D. Show all work in your notebook. You can do more if you want. There's more questions on that page. Feel free to do more. Hopefully this video helps. Have a great night. And that's all for now. Flexing Teacher Weber, out.